And then a little pickle right there.
Whoa, easy.
Wow.
I haven't had that many.
Miss Frat
All
House.
right, welcome everyone. We're going to get started with the presentation. I'm Jennifer with Compass Travel. I know a lot of you already. Some of you I just met for the first time tonight. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Hungarian. So Europe is definitely very close to my heart with travel. And this is Will. He's with Travel Impressions, which is one of the suppliers, partners that I use a lot. And we're going to be doing this presentation about travel to Europe. So feel free to ask any questions you'd like, either during the presentation or afterwards. I'll be around too if you want to talk a little bit or ask any questions then. And we'll also have some fun trivia and a prize at the end, right?
Yes.
Trivia.
little trivia for everybody. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. And thanks for coming out, guys. I really appreciate it. So this is supposed to be relaxing. It's vacation. It's supposed to be fun, right? And it's learning about travel. How many people have been to all-inclusive? Anybody? Yes? Perfect. How many people have traveled to Europe? Okay. So we got some experience and we got some newbies in the crowd. Okay, perfect. Well, let me give you a little bit of background about me. I've been in travel for this is my 4th year. Previous to Travel Impressions, I worked for Sandals Resorts. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of that or not, which was an all-inclusive resort. So Travel Impressions, we're owned by the Apple Leisure Group, which if you've ever heard of Apple Vacations, so we're a sister company to Apple Vacations. The only difference between us and Apple is we also offer a Europe product. So what we do is we actually go out and negotiate with hotels, and we get these prices and we put these caveats into the packages that protect you guys. So, and then we work with great partners like Jennifer, and she's able to book these hotels through us. So that's that's basically what we are. What we are is a tour operator, is what you would call us. The difference in Europe is so vast. It's not your canned all-inclusive where you're going to get X restaurants and the beach and everything else. There's a lot to this product, and let me share a story about why you need to use somebody like Jennifer. Okay, in my mid-20s, we were looking to book a trip to Hong Kong. So it was me and my buddy. We knew nothing about it. Okay, and we were focusing on price and everything else, and we were online, Expedia. We book it. I'm not kidding you. I get to the hotel, which was the stars and everything else. After 20 hours of flying, I go to the guy to check in, and it's a hostel. I had no idea. What they presented online was completely different than what we got to. So when I get there, I go, hey, I have a reservation, my last name, my Gozer, can you pull that up? And he's like, I don't have your reservation. I was like, well, I have it printed right here. And he's like, now I have it. And I'm like, whoa. And he looks at my buddy, and he goes, do you have yours? And my buddy's like, no. He goes, I don't have you. So they separate us, and already I'm thinking, this isn't good. Because we're in a foreign country. I've been to Hong Kong one other time, and now we're in 2 different areas. He's in building 5, I'm in building 2. So I get to the room, the only, the sheets were dirty, so I actually slept in full clothes. And I'm not even kidding you because I've never seen this before, but the shower was literally on top of, it was just a shower, the toilet, the whole thing. I was like, I've never seen this before. So I'm sitting there trying to shower off. It was extremely weird. The next day we go to get out of it, and we had to actually pay a bribe to get out of the hotel. So there's when you're in a foreign country like we were with an OTA, which is an online travel agency like Expedia, there's no one to call. And that you have no resource, I had no Jennifer to pick up the phone and say, Jennifer, this is, can you help me? But she wouldn't have put me there anyway because she would have done the research to make sure that, you navigate outside of those waters. And one of the ways that you do that is by using somebody like Travel Impressions that, we vet the hotels, we deal with the hotels, we, enter in contractual obligations with these hotels, and there's certain things that they need to fulfill. So let my horror story in my mid-20s certainly serve as a lesson to definitely not go on your own, especially in Europe if you don't know what you're doing, so. The presentation, and please forgive me because this has been like technical difficulty day, I think, for all of us. So, the projector we couldn't get it working today. So, there's nothing that's earth-shattering in this presentation because we represent so much. So, it would be literally impossible for me to give you guys what we have in our portfolio right now is 400 hotels in Europe across the board. So, we're in 72 cities in 20 countries. So just to give you guys an idea. So right now we have hotels in Austria, Belgium, Czech Republic, Denmark, England, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Monaco, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, Scotland, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. So you can see how vast all of these products are, and within all of those countries, those 20 countries, there's 400 hotels to choose from. So there's a lot to pick from. If I would ask you, what's your favorite color? Blue. What's your favorite color?
Gray.
Nobody has this. Everybody has different likes, right, and different needs. So it's impossible to really narrow this down. And one of the things that we want to do, especially in Europe, guys, is you're going to have, and I think Jennifer would back me up on this, you're going to have hotels that have a pool, and you're going to have hotels that don't have a pool. You're going to have hotels that, I don't know, if there's any smokers in here that are non-smoking. Maybe, you don't want non-smoking. So there's certain things in Europe, and there's certain specifications that, all needs, are going to be different, and, you'll have she'll be able to do the research to make sure that what's important to you is what you get. So.
And one of the great things about working with a tour operator like Travel Impressions that I like for my clients is it lowers your initial deposit. So a lot of times you would have to pay up front for the entire trip, including the flights if you booked on your own on Expedia, or you just have to pay for at least the flights if you booked elsewhere. But with a lot of tour operators, you can do a very low deposit and pay over time or pay all at the end when it gets closer to your travel date. So that's a really nice option.
And we also, just so you know, we have our standard partnerships, like, the brand names like the Marriott, Intercontinental, Accor, Starwood, Hilton, Radisson, Riu, Malia, the Hyatts. So we do have those partnerships in place with, your known hotel entities, if they do fit the criteria of what's going to mesh with the vacation you're looking for. So with Europe, I don't know, does anybody plan on doing a pre and post on a cruise? Because that's something that if you ever, okay. So that's something that you can do through us too. So if you do plan on taking a cruise in Europe at any point, which also Jennifer would be able to help you with, we can also do a pre-stay, get you there, you can stay, you board the ship, and then you can also do a post-stay through us. So it's, some people like to have a couple extra days in Europe when you're out there on a cruise. Villas. Are villas of interest to anybody? Okay, perfect. So we have, we actually have a white label product through Villas of Distinction, which is the premier name in villa sales. So We have, right now, not in every country, but we have villas in France, Italy, Greece, Spain, and Croatia. So one of the things, and definitely it's one of those things you really want to consider, because more than likely you can get a villa for the same rate as what you would get a hotel, a room at a hotel. So except a villa, you got your own personal space. Some of them come with food, some of them come with, butlers. There's all kinds of, pools. So it really depends on the experience that you're looking for. And the villa is going to be much more private and secluded, where the hotel you're kind of, there's 40 rooms, there may be 100 rooms, 300 rooms. The villa is just going to be yours. You're renting that out, kind of like an upscale version of Airbnb.
Yep, so you'll have your own kitchen, some have washer dryers, things like that. All the comforts of home that a lot of people like nowadays instead of staying in hotels.
And we're, just so you know, we are adding some inventory and accommodations. We do have some new tour options in Greece. We're offering ferry and hydrofoil excursion, sunset cruises, day tours, Santorini and Mykonos, day tours in Crete. So some of these things are a little different. I'm not Greek. I'm actually Sicilian.
Close enough.
Hey, exactly. So we are adding portfolio. We will have some properties in Switzerland coming, so that's going to be exciting. We have a lot of different ways to get you guys there. So we have partnerships with the airlines too, so you book your package all in one. Air Canada, Air France, Lufthansa, Delta, United, American, British Airways. So, we have partnerships with all those airlines to get you guys. And I got to tell you, early on, there was some dirt cheap prices. And this is why, again, you work with someone like Jennifer. In December, my buddy was calling me because you could get, he's actually in Ireland right now. He got his airline ticket and it was towards the end of November, December for $300. You'll have those deals. That's ridiculous. It's cheaper. It was cheaper for him to go to Ireland than Jamaica. It's crazy. The other thing that we can do, guys, especially, over in Europe, you're not just going to go to the hotel, stay at the hotel, eat at the hotel. You're going to explore. You're going to want to explore. So we do have tours that we offer that you can book through Jennifer. So, and there's a lot of different tours that we can do. Just to give you some examples, tickets to a show in London's West End, dinner at Moulin Rouge show in Paris, Munich and its beer tour, which sounds really fun, the Romantic Road in Rothenburg and Harburg, artistic Barcelona tour, a night out in Athens, a Budapest City tour, the Chianti Colors and Flavors tour from Florence. So you have a lot of different tour options that you can do when you're out in Europe that you can experience. So keep that in mind. Anything about tours? So another thing is the custom discovery. So we do have partnerships with, if you want to rent a car in Europe, we can take care of that for you, along with rail. So those are two options. And just so you guys know, this isn't through us with Europe. We're an FIT, okay, which is basically, so there's two different types. There's the European tours, which is basically going to be a set schedule where you're going to be at this hotel at this point. You'll do a couple days here at this hotel at this point. And then along the lines, you'll have like food and different things included. With us, it's just, you're going to get that hotel, and if you want to do anything that's customized, you can work through Jennifer, and then she can, customize that for you for your vacation package. Do you guys understand that, what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I customize everything to all my clients. So, I like to ask you questions, get to know exactly what you want to do, what type of hotel you want to stay in, what type of tours you want to do, so that I can really help you customize that itinerary. So it's not just a preset itinerary like on a guided tour, which I do sell a few of those, but I really don't do too many guided tours because I like selling these customized tours and really working with my clients on those.
I'm telling you guys, this isn't a work function, this is a vacation, trust me. And I love being able to kind of set my pace rather than have somebody set the pace for me, and you're constantly like, I gotta go here, I gotta get up at this time and eat here, you know. So it really does serve a very, very good purpose if that's the type of person you are and you want that. So.
And some of my friends that are here know that I'm definitely not a morning person, so I do not get up early, and I don't like to do those guided tours because they make you get up at the crack of dawn.
Perfect. Well, with that said, it's a pretty quick presentation. Do you guys have any questions for me? It's just a basic overview. I wanted to give you an idea of, you know, the different locations that you have. I wanted to give you an example of some of the areas, you know, the cities, you know, the hotel partners. And again, it's when you're dealing with so much inventory, it's so hard to really condense that into what's going to fit your need, what's going to fit your need, you know, what's going to fit your need. So, and that's really where, and please keep this in mind, that's really where you need to work with a professional and sit down where she'll actually, you know, go. Can you want to tell them a little bit about how you go through their needs further?
Yeah, well, mostly I start with asking you questions about kind of what you're looking for, what you like, what you don't like, and then I put together, sometimes it's one quote or sometimes it's multiple quotes, show you those. If you like that, we go ahead and book that. If you don't like it, we can go and, you know, change it to something else, make modifications on that, whatever. And I am a no-fee agency, so that means that there's no extra cost or higher fees to use most of my services. So really, there's no reason not, you know, there's no reason to try to book on your own if it's something that's stressful or that you're not really comfortable with.
And I'll tell you guys from my experience, does anybody want to have a Hong Kong experience? No.
It depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like she said, it really is very important to really do that, work with a professional. And through us, you'll also have a dedicated 24-hour customer service line, so you don't have to worry about a time difference. We actually have that line dedicated 24 hours a day, so if you are traveling, you know, and it may be midnight, Jennifer's time, you have somebody that's going to be there to handle anything that may arise. So, keep that in mind. Because guys, things do happen. So that's the other thing that I really want to remind you guys, before we get into a little bit of trivia here. Insurance. You know, make sure you get trip insurance. I mean, if you have insurance on your cell phone and you're spending, you know, these trips aren't cheap, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever your budget is, $6 on a trip, you want to make sure you have insurance because you never know what can happen. And I've heard some absolute horror stories from a guy that had a heart attack in Mexico, didn't have insurance. They said, you got to give me $50,000 to get out of the hospital. So his family had to do a Kickstarter because he was stuck in Mexico. They had to pay 50 grand. So, I mean, these are the things that you know, you don't think about, but this is why you have someone like Jennifer who's there to help you through that process. You know, some people, like I heard of, you know, there's a guy that broke his leg before getting on a cruise, and we have a cancel for any reason policy. So he didn't take insurance out. He lost the entire package. So, you know, it's a couple $1,000. You never know what is going to happen, so you want to make sure no matter what you do, definitely get insurance. Don't take for granted and, oh, that's not going to happen. So make sure you do that. It's very important. So,
And, well, before we go on to the trivia, I just want to mention a few of the countries in Europe and some things about them, and see if anybody has any questions there, if there's a specific country that you're going to or want to go to, and some questions about that. Ireland is a big destination, like you mentioned, and it's very affordable. A lot of times you can get great airfare prices from the U.S. especially compared to Italy, Greece, where the airfares tend to be high. And one of the great things about Ireland is because it is a small country, a lot of people like to do driving tours. but they do drive on the wrong side of the road. So somebody has to be comfortable with that on the trip. Guided tours are also an option in Ireland, or it is possible to do train travel as well there, although it's a little bit more of a hassle sometimes there than it is on the continent because Ireland is smaller. So Ireland is a great choice, I think, for Europe. One of my favorite destinations in Europe. Spain, France are also popular for honeymoons and romantic travel, and even not romantic travel. Greece is, like I said, the airfares tend to be high to Greece, but once you get there, the hotels are pretty affordable, and the other expenses are pretty affordable. Italy, airfares also tend to be high there. And it tends to be more of a mid-range or luxury budget in Italy, although I certainly do a lot of mid-range Italy planning. So it can definitely be workable to do Italy on a medium budget. Let's see, where else? Germany, of course, in the place that we're in. So this is a German club and restaurant. So I definitely want to talk about Germany, and Germany is a big country. So Germany is a great country to do those kinds of rail trips if you want to go from city to city. Or in Munich, of course, with Oktoberfest that happens in September, is a really popular time to go, but you definitely want to book far out in advance because it is so popular. So that's kind of a few of the most popular destinations.
Then I have a timing question. And so to preface this, July of 18 in Paris is Gay Games. So we will have those Columbus competitors, but we won't know if we're competing because of the process. Where are we on time to book, to do, whether we go as a larger group, we go as small individual groups? We've not really started talking about that because we're, just go outside of a year, but.
Well, the main thing you start running into the closer you get to a trip, sometimes you run into cost issues, that airfares and hotel prices increase. But also, if you're going as a group, availability is a big issue if you all want to stay in the same hotel. So it's nice to book that out as far ahead as you can to make sure you stay in the same hotel. But if you can't and you're willing to stay, maybe to split up and stay in separate hotels, then you can book closer to the time. Or is it a situation where you might not go if you're not competing, or are you going anyway?
There'll be those that don't, and there'll be those of us that do just because they support.
Yeah. And so the cancel for any reason insurance that Will just talked about is good for that. And prices tend to run, I think they're like a little bit over $100 a person for that, right? So
the max as you tier up is about $150 a person. So if you elect to use it, you're out the $150, but you're getting back your whatever you're putting out there. So
so you'll get a full refund minus the cost of the insurance. So if somebody wants to say, book the trip, do the cancel for any reason insurance, and then they decide we're not competing, we don't want to go, then they can just cancel and they'll get everything back except that $150.
Oh, come on.
So what I'm hearing is that the earlier you book, the more kind of control you have over your trip. As far as where you're going to go, when you're going to go. Prices, I guess, can vary, but... Yeah,
prices vary, although the earliest you book out, prices tend to be very good. The earliest you book out, especially for Europe. But you're definitely going to get better selection of rooms at the hotel, better selection of hotels that you want the earlier out you can book.
And remember, guys, that there's no difference between hotel inventory and the stock market. It's literally the same thing. As you get closer in time to travel and the inventory starts to shrink up and the demand starts to skyrocket, the prices just start to go through the roof. So just like Jennifer's saying, you know, and if you know where you want to go, definitely put your deposit down and lock the rate in and protect yourself that way. So it's very important.
And Kyle, and then I'll come to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
I am hoping to plan a trip to Scotland as
Mm-hmm.
soon as possible, really. What are the chances you guys have any connections with distilleries or any specific, like, smaller hotels in Scotland?
Yeah,
what are
there's
your connections?
definitely a lot of smaller hotels in Scotland. Some nice B&Bs out there too, and smaller hotels. And then there's lots of whiskey distilleries. So I can either get tickets to most of those distilleries, or at least I can tell you where they are.
Okay. It's good to know.
Yeah, and there's also sometimes, I'll have to check, but in a lot of cities, they have like drinking, walking tours, and stuff like that.
I'd be very interested in that. Yeah.
It's a huge challenge.
And secondly, I kind of took this off the table. I didn't think it would be financially feasible. I'd be really interested in going to Russia for the World Cup. Do you have any connections with Russian hotels, or could you get me there?
Yeah, I can get you to Russia too.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and our country might have better relations with them by then.
Yeah, Putin might let me in.
Especially now.
We got Snowden for us.
Yeah.
Will do. I'll get an autograph.
I'll-
if you like.
Well, I had a question because I work for a hotel, and so I work for the Hilton, and I get
On
discounts all.
Clearwater Beach, where
Yes.
I'm originally
So I'm
from.
gonna say it.
Yeah.
So for me, like I get discounts at every hotel in like the world. So, but like for me, it doesn't like I didn't know. Is it possible to like book tours through you and do flights through you, and then I can do my hotel separate because of the discounts I get because I can stay for
Yeah,
dirt cheap.
I wouldn't be able. I get pretty good deals and discounts for most normal people, but for somebody who works at a hotel, I can't get better discounts than that.
No.
So, but I can definitely book different components, just by themselves too. So I can book, like a walking tour or a car rental for you, just a car rental.
Can you do
or,
flights?
International flights. I don't do domestic standalone flights, but international flights, yes.
So you can pretty much mix and match. You say, this is what I want to do,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
you can do pretty much everything. We can just pick and choose what we want to do
And
and
that's-
schedule around it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right, because that's why it's so difficult to wrap up a presentation around this, because what she does can be so customized for you. Just like you said, you can do Scotland, and maybe you want to go over to Russia, or you might want to go from Scotland to Ireland into France. So she can really customize all of that for you. That's why you really want to work with her. Why won't you don't want to pay full rate?
Right? No, but
What's
I mean,
wrong?
is
I
it
thought you
best,
were
like,
special.
you can get better rates booking, obviously, flights for me than I would by myself.
Usually
So-
for international, yes. Because I get access to unpublished rates,
Oh, gotcha.
so that you don't have available to you.
Yeah,
And-
that's awesome.
And to that point too, guys, just so you know, when you're you never know what's going to happen, and it's always good to have someone to call that's in the background that can help you. Because I'll never forget, I was at the airport, American system collapsed, and I had to be pushed over to Delta. And then their flight was delayed. I had no idea what was going on. I had no one to call. So I'm like trying to do all of this work while I'm going to work on the islands. And it was unbelievably complicated. So, when you have someone like Jennifer that's in your corner, she can really help you with that. So, you just never, there's so many things that can happen when you're traveling, especially with the airlines.
Yeah. And if I book your trip through a tour operator like Travel Impressions, you of course have them to call as well. But either way, even when I'm going to be out of touch for several hours, I have another travel agent that covers for me. So that way, there's always somebody to help you out from my office.
Should we just call Lee if you're not available?
Yeah. You won't know
Call
what to do.
her.
You guys,
So if you were to book for a hotel or a flight. And the price drops, do you match the price drop or not?
No, unfortunately not. And the airlines won't price match anything like that unless it's a group fare. I can get certain group fares, and on those for a large group, so it would be at least 10 people traveling on the same flight. And in those cases, then yes, sometimes there is a price drop contingency in there. But also, that made me think of another good point where you're talking about price drops and price matching. I can price match, Groupon deals and a lot of other, Expedia, things like that. And travel impressions, price matches as well.
Any other questions, guys? Anything? Flights, hotels, destinations, bucket list suggestions?
I guess we can move on to trivia.
I just don't know what it is.
Trivia.
Yeah.
Get excited. Trivia.
All right, so Jennifer will.
So let me go running with the prize.
Is the prize a free trip?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Potatoes.
So we're gonna give you guys a $50 gift card, a little bit of Euro trivia. So we'll have.
Well, I'm not.
Get your phone out.
Yeah.
Dude, look,
Yeah.
me and you both.
Yeah. So the first person to Google it gets the gift card. Or?
Yeah, no Googling.
So if you know the answer, you just raise your hand. You're the first person, and then the winner will get the $50 gift card.
And there's 5 questions. I think.
Yep. All right,
So
you guys
pretty
ready?
quick trivia.
A bunch of savvy people in the audience, I can tell. So, what country, known for the arts, is home to 600 Michelin-starred restaurants, multiple couture fashion houses, over
I saw
700?
Andrew's first.
It's the country. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Internationally renowned for its food, fashion, and fine art, it's no surprise that France, specifically Paris, is also where you'll find the world's largest museum and one of its most visited attractions overall. The Louvre. How do you? Louvre. To the Louvre. You can tell I'm really culturally traveled in Europe. It would take an astonishing 100 days at just 30 seconds per piece to see everything the Louvre has on collection. But with a guided visit, you can easily fit it in an island. So maybe something you guys might want to do. I'll give you a little bit of background on this. So here's another one. Wildlife lovers and nature enthusiasts will feel right at home in Germany. How many zoological gardens, wildlife and safari parks, aquariums, bird parks, and animal reserves does it offer in total?
That's a hard one.
500.
2,500. 300.
117.
118.
2,000.
Are we doing
price is- the
300?
price
Are
is
we doing
wrong.
who gets closest? I guess.
I guess,
300.
guess whoever gets closest.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
275. 5,000.
What'd you say before?
57.
And you?
2,500.
25.
300.
You, because if you would have did the dollar and the price is right, you would have won. It's 700.
700.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
I had 7.
What'd you say, Pat?
300. I think somebody
That's
you said 600?
Okay.
I didn't hear 600. Okay,
Okay.
then you want
Wow. All right.
Yeah. So
You had 725.
that's all right.
So it's
Well, you
they
went
got
over.
it.
But he
They
went
went
over.
over.
He went over. So he's disqualified.
So guys, that tally includes the largest zoo in the world, both in terms of number of animals, residents, and species represented. Other things worth experiencing: classical music, performance, sampling the beer. There are over 5,000 varieties, visiting the Berlin Wall Memorial, and seeing the fairy tale castles of the Romantic world.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
You're on video.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready for the next question?
Do it. Come on.
Which Spanish city has 6 UNESCO World Heritage listed sites designed by artist Antonio.
Barcelona. Oh.
Oh,
Good Lord.
I'm not sure who
Fine.
got
You have
that.
to-
Is it like,
Yeah, you have to raise your hand. She's got it.
that's true.
Madrid.
With her hand raised.
So who should give him a gift card?
Either there's 5 of them or whoever gets the most. Not sure.
So the UNESCO awarded Mediterranean diet makes dining in Spain a pleasure, but beware of mealtime difference you may be used to. Lunchtime is generally from 1 to 3 p.m. and dinner is usually eaten around 10 p.m. That's crazy.
I wish my meals took up like 5 hours.
It's usually what time I eat.
Well, then and I love Spain. I've been there several times. And one time we went to a restaurant and like they don't even open for dinner until 8 p.m. So we just, we went at 7:30.
What time do people work in the morning?
They don't work in the morning.
They don't work.
Usual time like us, they do take a siesta in the afternoon, and that's at 1 to 3. Although I think most people don't really sleep at the siesta.
They just drink and eat.
Run errands.
They have to be at work at 8 or 9 in the morning?
Yeah. So.
I'd love a midday nap.
I need a little siesta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything is closed in Spain during the siesta, so even most pharmacies close down, things like that. During
How do these
siesta,
people get
except
anything done?
restaurants.
They're doing errands and everything's
They don't
closed.
8 and noon and 3 and
But isn't
The
the
grocery stores are open, like the big grocery stores and stuff are still
does Walmart stay open?
open.
They're doing something right though.
Are you guys ready for question number 4?
Question number 4.
All right. Which country has fast access to the sea with no destination further than 75 miles from it?
England,
You got it.
Woo!
I guessed.
The United Kingdom, Great Britain alone has 7,700 miles of shoreline riddled with cliffs like the famous white chalk ones of Dover Beach. Don't forget to ride the London Eye when touring the British capital. It's Europe's tallest observation wheel, letting you see the river, things in the cityscape on a clear day as far as the Windsor Castle. All right, guys, last question. And I'm sure that you guys are going to be going at it for this one. Italy is famous for its imperial heritage, but which of its cities had the longest lasting republic in history?
Rome.
The floating city.
Venice. Venice.
That was my first thought.
So it was Venice. The Venice Republic was founded in 697, dissolved by Napoleon in 1797. Italy has set multiple records, had countless contributions to world history, including the invention of the violin, cello, piano, and just a couple things. If you throw a coin over your shoulder into the Trevi Fountain, in Rome, legend has it that you will be destined to return. So keep that in mind. This is going to be tough to choose.
I don't think my coins have ever made it in because there's always so many people at the Trevi Fountain. Like I throw it from far away and hit somebody. So I don't think my coin has ever.
Which means you're bound
Oh
to
yeah,
not return.
tiebreaker between those 5.
Tiebreaker.
So I think we have. Let's just do the tiebreaker between the people who have answered correctly. So I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I missing anyone? Okay.
Right.
All right.
I'm going to leave that question to you.
Okay. Do you have another one?
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, we got one more. Here's the bonus question for the tiebreaker. Where would you go to relax and the beneficial thermal spring spas have sprung up around Greece or Hungary?
Greece.
Yep. You're right.
Oh,
Glad you got that one right.
Well, I never had the $50, so it's not like I lost it.
Yeah, Hungary's famous for thermal spas and wine. So if you like either of those, it's a great place to go.
And beautiful women.
So guys, just to just to end, I'm just going to give you, our promotions are constantly changing, so you'll want to make sure that you take advantage of them. But I want to give you an example of some of the different promotions that we do have, and these are listed as sample because they do change. So for instance, free nights across Europe, what you'll find is your third night free, or a complimentary room upgrade. Third night free at West Barcelona, fourth night free at Westin Palace, fourth night free at the KK Hotel Opera in Budapest. So you'll have, some of these packages that will include an additional night for you. So that saves a lot on your trip. So you definitely want to look for those specials that we offer. Just a few things like in Germany, we certainly do have specials. Stay a fourth night, pay for 3 at the Regent Berlin, early booking discount at the Rio Plaza Berlin, reduced rates at the Kempinski Hotel. So these are just some examples of some of the specials and promotions that we will offer for you guys. So you'll want to keep an eye on it. Outside of that, we talked about travel protection, and I think that is it. So congratulations for the $50, and I appreciate you guys coming down. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming. So I will still be around for a while. If you want to ask questions or schedule an appointment, how you can get in touch with me is my card is in there. If you want to email or text me, you can call. I have an online scheduling system on my website if you want to schedule an in-person or phone appointment that way. Thanks.
Thank you. One more round.
Next summer, we got to plan a Europe vacation.
Thank you, Jim.